Well, good day. This is cell alignment. As you can see, these cells are centered. All the words are in the center, but they don't have to be in the center. You could put them on the left, or you could put them on the right, or you could put them on the center. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to keep mine on the left. And you might notice that this column is very wide. It's much wider than it needs to be. And so most people would be tempted to grab this line between the C and the D, not down here, but on the heading, the line between the C and the D, and they'd be tempted just to scoot it over till it gets pretty good, and that looks pretty good. And that works fine if you can see all the entries in the column. Now, I can see all the entries in this column, but what if I had 1,000 entries? I may not know which one way down there is the longest entry, so sliding it over manually is probably not the best thing to do. The best thing to do to get the column just as wide as it needs to be is to double click this line. If you double click the line, Excel will automatically adjust the column width to be just as wide as it needs to be to put the longest entry in. So I'll do the same thing for B over here. It's a little bit too wide. Instead of just guessing where to put it, I'll just double click this line, not down here, not over here, not over here, exactly on the line, double click. And it makes it just as wide as it needs to be. If you make it a little bit too narrow, look what happened to the word. The words get chopped off, don't they? And that's called truncated. The words are truncated, and words will get cut off or truncated. What would happen though if you had numbers? Here's numbers in A and there's numbers in D. And I'll take this one and I'll manually scoot it over, scoot it over, scoot it over, scoot it over, and watch what happens. Whoa! Numbers will not get truncated. Numbers will not get chopped off. If there's not enough room in your narrow little column to put the full number, Excel will give you a series of pound signs like this. And that's trying to tell you that the number is too wide and the column is too narrow. So you can get on the line, double click it, it'll fit just nicely. Words, if they're too narrow, will get chopped off, truncated. But numbers, if the column is too narrow, will not get chopped off. They'll show you a series of pound signs, and that's trying to tell you that you need to make the column wider so the word will fit in. Let's go look at another example of cell alignment. Well, here's a list of high school subjects, and some of the words don't fit, so I'm going to double click it and it fits nicely, and I could go double click this and double click this. You could double click them all, but probably a better idea is try to do them all at once. So get up here on the C, not on the line this time. We're going to highlight all the columns at once. Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to make best fit for all the columns. I'll give it a double click, and now it's just as wide as it needs to be, and that's called a best fit. But you might notice that some of these words are very long and the numbers are small and it's taken up a lot of space. Sometimes this won't fit on your page when you print it out and you think, I'm taking a lot of space with this big long title. Maybe there's something I can do about that, and there is. You can take these words and wrap them. Look at this, wrap text. I'll give it a click. And then you'll think, well, hey, it looks like nothing happened. But now what you can do is change the column width, and I'll put it in about this far. And now, wait a minute, where's science? I don't see science anymore. And I'll scoot this one over a bit, and I'll think, wait a minute, where's education? Education went away. And maybe I'll scoot this one over, and it says, wait a minute, where's languages? Languages went away. They're hiding under there. Your row is now too short. You need your row to be higher. Oh, look at that. You can adjust it just the way you like it. That looks pretty good. Best fit will still work if you do this wrap text. And you can adjust the row height up and down till it looks pretty good. Look at that. That's called wrap text. Let's put a title on this spreadsheet. Maybe we'll put Florin High School. Enter. And now I wish this Florin High School was centered across all the columns. On the left, I could center it, but wait a minute, that doesn't look very good. I could put it on the right, and now it's on the right of A1. Or it's in the center of A1, or it's on the left of A1. That's not good. What I want to do is to get it to go across all columns. So I highlight all columns like this. I want it to go this far, not to H, that's too far. I want to highlight these, and then I'll do this one, merge and center. Give it a click, and it centers across columns. Hey, that looks pretty nice. Let's make it a little taller, maybe about like this. And now you can see that the words are at the bottom of the cell, aren't they? Their words are not in the middle of the cell, they're not on the top of the cell, they're on the bottom of the cell, and that's what this one is over here. It's called alignment. And I'll give this one a click. It'll says put it in the center or put it on the top. So you can do that, but this is only going to work if your row is pretty tall. And that looks pretty good. What do you think about that? Let's put borders all around it. That might look nice. And there you go. Now you could print that out. Let's go look at another example. Well, here's another example of a spreadsheet that has titles that are very wide and data inside that's very narrow. So what I might do is I might take it like this, and I might angle the headings. And you can angle the headings with this little guy. It says angle counterclockwise as an example, and that doesn't look too good to me. You could highlight it, and it could look a little better if you put borders around it, and maybe we'll put borders around the whole thing and we'll change it to a different color. How's that look? Does that look pretty good? Man, it looks alright, I guess. Let's undo and say what I want to do is maybe I could put the words sideways. So I'll do this one again, that angle thing, and I'm going to rotate text up. Now all my columns are very, very wide. I'll highlight the columns, not on the line. I could double click each one. Double click, double click, double click, double click. I could do that, but instead of doing that, I'm going to do them all at once. I'll get on the B, not on the edge, not down here, right on the B. Hold it down, 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 hold it down. Now I'm going to grab the one between the G and the H. I'm going to do all the columns at once. I'm going to double click them all at once, double click. Hey, that looks pretty good to me. Let's put those borders back on. I thought that looked a lot better. And we'll say, hey, that's done. Well, let's go look at one more example, and then we'll wrap this up. Just about everything you can do in this alignment group you could have done with the Windows dialog box. So I'll click this Windows dialog box launcher, and just about everything that had a button is here. You could change the horizontal alignment. You can make things left, right, center. You could change the vertical alignment, top, bottom, center. You could have wrapped the text. You could merge the cells. You could even change the direction of the text straight up and down or any which way. But one thing I wanted to show you is under here, it's called fill. Let's find out what that is. I'll cancel out of here. Here's a list of people who've turned in money, and some people have not turned in money. And I wanted to show that, hey, I didn't just skip you. I didn't just forget you, but you really didn't turn anything in. So I'll put a single asterisk and enter, and now that I have a single character in there, I'm going to fill the entire cell with that character. And you can do that under the alignment. Under horizontal, it says fill. And whatever's in the cell will be repeated in the cell. We'll say OK, and now it's repeated. No matter how wide you make the cell or how narrow you make the cell is filled with those stars. So that's just another little something you can find on the Windows dialog box. Well, that's about all there is to it.